as the stamp duty valuation as reduced by the monetary consideration will be the value of the flat that is allocated for the purpose of future cost of acquisition. You will have defined the cost of acquisition. I am giving this free of cost. So therefore, so if you define that, it's possible for you to come to this agreement so that there is no controversy in future. The stamp duty valuation is there. The stamp duty valuation as reduced by the monetary consideration will constitute the value of the flats. That's it.
Sir, yeah. Sir, in this one case study, you made a mention about old tenanted building being given for redevelopment and the landowner getting 4 or 5 new flats.
Right.
There you made a mention about that a particular clause needs to be incorporated in the development for delineating the residential unit. Can you just explain what exactly?
My thought process was like this, that when you transfer a building as a landowner, you are also or a building owner, you are transferring 5 or 6 different identifiable residential units of which you were the owner in any case.
Correct.
Look at 54. The 54 says transfer of a residential house.
Yes.
That earlier there was under 54 a condition that you should reside in that house, very old condition, that is no longer there. So what you are in effect transferring is a property composed of different residential units. Now if you say that I am transferring 8 residential units, on a reading of 54, I should be entitled to exemption for 8 houses.
8 houses.
Though an amendment in law may come, that I am not saying. May have an amendment in law. But what are you transferring? You are transferring 8 residential units of which you were the owner. What is the tenant letting go of? The tenant is letting go of his tenancy right, which are 2 different and distinct assets. And therefore, I would take a view that if drafted properly, you would be...
So sir, what you are trying to say is that in
continuation, the 8 are occupied by owner or different tenant? What is?
Obviously by tenant.
Different tenant.
So, anyway, as I said, you have to leave something for my profession.
So, in your previous example, what will be the period of holding in the 99 case?
If you take a view that it's like this, that when you have an agreement to sell for purchase of a flat also, you have a situation of an agreement to sell ultimately resulting into possession. Okay. Now the question is, number of judgments taking a view that agreement to sell is the date of acquisition. I am conscious of a different view saying that ultimately when it results into possession, then it is the date of possession, and if you are transferring only a residential house, a residential asset, then it is the date of possession. I have a strong and different view, very strongly differing from certain counsels in regard thereto. This is not the time to explain, but I will explain that at some stage of time. But I would take a view that where the vested right in respect of that property came into existence, of which you had full dominion, control and transferability, that is the date of acquisition.
So if it is less than 3 years,
What can you explain this by an example? Domain and control. What does domain and control mean?
So if the agreement says that you have this vested right which you are entitled to transfer without recourse to anybody else, that is dominion and control.
So capital gain is chargeable under section 45, and if you read the section 45, what it says the profit or gain. So there is a clear-cut demarcation between the 2 words, profit and gain. So what is the profit invoiced under this context? And can you give some examples which will fall as a profit and not as a gain, and vice versa?
Call me again. Because now you are asking me to deal with 45 simpliciter. The words used profit and gain to my mind are used as one because profit would normally be on account of a particular transfer and monetary or asset. Gain is something larger, so it's virtually because those words are used in that manner in every. The draftsman, bear me out, does not always think the way that you are. So therefore, but yes, there could be an issue on this. As I said, chamber have to call me again for this. Okay.
There are 1 or 2 questions which have come in writing. We'll just take it very fast and then we'll end this session.
constructed area. Can you determine the cost of construction and substitute 50C value?
Even if the cost of construction is higher than 50C value.
If the cost of construction is higher than 50C value?
No, lower.
Lower. So what you are saying is that, again, this will have a detailed discussion, because what is happening is that you are transferring an asset which is land. Now, if you are transferring the entire land, and saying that in lieu thereof I got constructed flats, then what is ascribed to those constructed flats is the 50C valuation itself. So therefore that will apply. There could be a various combinations. As I said, you need to look at that, because you could also say that in the development potential, I would transfer only a part of the development potential pertaining to the 50% area. 50% area would continue to be with me, in which case a different computation may flow. So therefore, that, as I said, I told Ketan that I said at the outset that redevelopment is a topic by itself. So I would need to deal with that various situations. But as I said, if you are transferring, and that is normally the drafting in each case, is that you are letting go of everything and receiving constructed area, then of course the 50C valuation will apply to the constructed.
We have received one more question, but that is primarily to 50C. I would avoid bothering Lisa for that, and yeah, we will take it in the session on sir, if you can permit the last question.
I'll permit anything.
Very quick.
Gautam is there, you ask him.
Sir, very quick, but please.
When there is succession of proprietor concern into company, 4740, and if those conditions are not satisfied, so still can we take that Bombay High Court tax pin taxable, that is still not taxable, but there is no transfer?
No. Tax pin is on a different
Totally different of law, because there is no transferee once it is succeeded.
When proprietor to a private limited company cannot be by operation of law, it's a clear case of a voluntary act. So I could not go along that.
But I think that's a different situation. I would now request Dinesh Bhai to please propose a very well deserved thanks to him.